Pep Talk UK, Pro B's, somewhere in Essex. I'm delighted to be joined by the man himself, Mr. Two Tanks, OD, Ohara Davies. Do you know what? I have to always do a big introduction for the winner of the golden contract.
You know what? I'm glad, but you know what? I see now. Now I look at it like it's in the past. That was like I won that last year, so now it's about new belts, new titles, new goals. I'm not going to celebrate that victory no more because it's in the past. So I'm looking forward to the future victories now.
Future victory. I must admit, when I came into the gym, I was looking for the briefcase with the golden contract in it, but I couldn't find it.
It's in the crypto and property. So where's the right? We don't carry briefcase. We're not buying watches. We're not buying cars. Investments, properties, it's crypto.
Yeah, and that's what Floyd said, you know, you've got to make smart investments, right?
Exactly, because boxing's not a rich man's game. It might be on its way there, but as of now, boxing is not a rich man's game. Just because you see someone fighting on Sky Sports or on BT Sport. I see people fighting on Sky Sports and getting less than £2 grand. People fighting on Sky Sports and getting less than £1,500. Like, don't be fooled. A lot of fans, they see us, we got the followers and the blue ticks. Don't mean we got money. And then when you a fighter, you got all these outgoings. You got to pay your coach, manager, healthy food, your car, insurance. Who's paying for this? You got to pay for it, and that fight first, so you get fighting 2 or 3 times a year. It's meant to fund your whole lifestyle. Going out to eat, enjoying life, having fun. Boxing's not a rich man's game.
And we are seeing now a lot more 50-50 fights. You know, guys having to fight each other when, you know, they probably wanted to do it probably a little bit later down the line. Now everyone's just got to scrap it out, get paid, right?
Through this whole phase that we're in now, COVID, a lot of before COVID, there was a lot more money in this game where the boxing promoters could help a fighter build himself, had his boxing record, get him a bit of experience before he gets into a really big fight. But now, because of the way things are, ain't no money in the game no more. So all these boxing promoters are now saying the only way that you'll get a fight is if you take a really hard fight. And these guys are so broke, they're thinking, shit, I've got no choice, I might as well take this hard fight. And that's what's happening now in boxing. So a lot of fighters are now losing their O before they get to 5 fights, before they get to 10 fights. Because now boxing's changed now. And you've got a few fighters that are still being looked after, but that's only a select few. But yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn talked about last year, 50-50 fights. That's certainly what's happened. A lot more even fights.
A lot more 50-50 fights, which is good to see. Like fights like Denzel Bentley against Felix Cash. That was a great fight, and they got all these other fights that I've seen. Trey Williamson, the guy that he fought last week. All these good fights that are now happening that weren't happening in the past, and if it wasn't due to COVID, wouldn't happen for the next 2 years. So it has been a blessing in disguise for the boxing fans because they're getting a lot more 50-50 fights. And the fight you want to see is Fury Joshua. That's what's next.
Fury Joshua, yeah, we'll get to that. I mentioned Eddie Hearn. When are you going to practice forgiveness and forgive Eddie Hearn?
Listen, man, I ain't forgot that day. About 3.5 years ago, Eddie Hearn threw me under the bus for no reason. If you got thrown under the bus and you was innocent and you didn't do it, would you be that fast to just get over it, forget about it? No, I was hurt. I was down the night of my boxing career. It was almost done. And if I didn't sign to MTK, my boxing career would be done. So I've got to thank MTK Global because I'm only in the game today because of them, because they helped me to get back on the right path. But Eddie Hearn and Matthew Boxing, they threw me under the bus. And it's not that easy to get over. And if anyone else got thrown under the bus, they'll be talking about it 10 years on. So I'm gonna keep on talking about the way that I was innocent and they threw me under the bus for no reason, even though they knew I had never heard of the Hillsborough situation at the time. I had never heard of it, and they knew it. And I remember going to Eddie Hearn's office, and they said to me privately, "Ozzy, I believe you, but you know what? I've got to punish you because I've got fans up in Liverpool." So I'm like, "So you know that I'm innocent, but yeah, you can't publicly announce that you think I'm innocent because you got fans up north, and my management done the same thing. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, and I'm gonna keep on talking about that to the day I die.
OD, man, so entertaining, man. Okay, you mentioned back then when that incident happened, you fought Josh Taylor then. Josh Taylor is due to fight very soon against Ramirez for the undisputed, all the marbles at 140. How do you think he gets on?
I think Taylor wins. I haven't seen the other guy fight, but I know he's a good fighter, but Taylor's in his last few fights, he's looked unbelievable. He's fought all the big names. He won the World Super Series, he beat Regis Prograyas, he beat all the best fighters, he beat other world champions, Miguel Vasquez. What's the other guy's name he fought? What's the other guy's name? From Ukraine or something like that, from Russia. Victor Postol.
Yep.
And he's beat all these big names, and you know what me and him went through, and I had hate for him in my heart. I hated the whole situation, but you know what? It's been years now. It's been over 3.5 years, and I'm happy for him. If I met him in the streets and I weren't a fighter and he weren't a fighter, I'd probably be his mate. Who knows? It's just that we happen to be fighters, and we're both in the same weight class, and we happen to cross paths at one time. I can't hold it against him forever. We fought. I had a chance to win. I didn't win. What can I say? I'm happy for him to keep on doing what he does, and I've got to focus on my boxing career now.
Do you know what? Obviously, look, during that situation, during the fight, you know, the fight got stopped, etc., etc., and there was a lot of talk about quitting, etc., etc. That has kind of reared its ugly head again with the Billy Joe Saunders situation. It's very tough on boxers right now. You know, the least little thing happens, they're called a quitter, or etc., etc. I mean,
like, you know what? It's a tough one because a lot of fighters say to themselves, a lot of fighters make themselves believe, and they disbelieve that. A lot of fighters believe that they're going to go on until their pulse stops, or they're going to keep, or they'll go down 1,000 times and get up. Every fighter's got a Rocky Balboa story in their mind, and what happens if they're in a fight. But once you actually get in a fight and you're in that situation, you start thinking about, I've got a wife and kids at home, and I've got family. I've got to feed my mum. I've got to feed my family. And if I continue fighting, I could damage myself for life. And sometimes it's like, do I impress the fans, or do I be smart, or do I live to fight another day? If Billy Joe continued to fight and his eye got injured even worse, and he's only got one eye for the rest of his life, all the boxing fans will say is, Billy Joe fought a good fight, he got stopped, so now we ain't gonna fight again. They will never talk about him again. They will never speak about him again. So they ain't gonna be there trying to feed his kids. They ain't gonna feed his wife and his mum and his family. If he's in a wheelchair, if he ends up like a Michael Watson, these boxing fans ain't really gonna be there for him. They're gonna be like, yeah, you know what, Billy Joe, he was a good fighter years ago, but now he's washed up. Now he's a bit disabled. Now he ain't normal. That's what they'll say. They won't give a toss about him. So you know what? I'm like, you gotta think about yourself. You gotta put yourself first. Live to fight another day, regardless of what anyone says about you. You gotta put yourself first, because yeah, like back in the day, all those Romans, you know, they used to fight until the death. They used to fight until the death. We're not Romans. We're not those fucking Romans. We're not fighting lions. We're not fighting bears. We're not. All those times are done. Now, boxing's a business, and you got to do the business well, be smart. And so people can say what they want about the Billy Joe situation, but he's okay today. If he has one eye, they ain't gonna feed his kids. So fuck what the fans say. Do what's right for you.
We do know that it was the corner that retired Billy Joe at the end of the 8th round, but some people are just not happy with, you know, with the fact that Billy Joe didn't protest enough to go back out there. That's what they're saying.
What people wanted Billy Joe to do was to say to the coach and the corner, no, let me fight, let me continue the fight. But he knew that the fight was probably going to get stopped, and he didn't, and he didn't express his willingness to continue the fight. So I can see where the fans come from when they say what they say. But mate, who cares? Who cares? If Billy Joe came out for that round, he wasn't going to win the fight because his eye was done. He would have. How the fight would have gone if he carried on. He would have gone out with an injured eye, Canelo would have given him a right uppercut to his eye, damaged him for life, and the fight would have got stopped. Why not just be fucking smart, stay in the corner, and get stopped there? And your eye over here when you live to fight another day. That sounds a bit smarter, right? That sounds a bit better. Boxing's about being smart. The boxing fans don't really want to see a smart fighter. They want to see a stupid fucking warrior that goes out there and gets brain cells, and then they say yes, he was a hard man. But then like your boxing career's done, and you got arthritis, and you're talking all slurred, and you don't know your left from your right, and you don't know anything. Like, I've seen so many fighters today that are not the same. You look at an interview with them at the start of the boxing career and the interview with them now.
Yeah, they're punch drunk.
These guys are all punch drunk. And the fighters say, yes, this man was a hard man. Yes, the hard man ain't got no brain cells now. You gonna help him out? You gonna make a GoFundMe page and start fucking donating money to him? No. So mate, keep your brain cells, keep your eye intact, and if it happens again in the fight, be smart again. Do the same shit again. Leave this game with some money, millions in the bank.
That's the tough side of the sport, isn't it? I mean, one bad result that you have. I mean, Billy Joe was marvelled, you know, his unbeaten record, 2-weight world champion, and then one bad night.
Boxing fans, they always judge you from your last fight anyway. Boxing fans, they always make a judgment on you based on how you fought in your last fight. They never make a judgment on you based on your whole boxing career overall. They never do. They never ever do. And you just gotta accept it and say, I don't care what they think about me. If they're saying bad things about Floyd, and Floyd's the best fighter ever. Like in any era, any generation, Floyd's the best ever. You ain't got to beat, but yeah, boxing fans will still find something to say, he fought Canelo, but he wasn't in his prime, he fought Pacquiao today, he beat this guy was over there, he beat this guy, but this guy wasn't in his prime, If they say bad shit about Floyd, don't think they ain't gonna say good things about you. Never.
You mentioned Floyd. It's a good thing you're not wearing a hat, or someone might have got your hat.
That was a funny situation, but you know what, it sells.
So, hey, for a Marku, obviously, look, you told me, look, you're into bigger and better things, but is that something if the deal's right that you'd like revisit or consider? If
the money's right, hell yeah. If the money's right, I'll fight anyone. But you know what? When you like at this part of my boxing career, in the stage I'm at now, it's either it makes sense where it's going to get me closer to a world title, or it's going to get me up on the rankings. If I'm going to be fighting a guy that's not my weight class, that's not in any rankings, that's not ranked in any governing body, the money's got to be right. You've got to sell it to me somehow. Either make it to me like, if you beat this guy, you're going to get in the top 10 in the WBC, or I'm not. So if I'm going to fight him, I want money. You can't get in a fight against me by saying, they had a spar and they had a fight after the spar, they had a little argument in the gym, therefore let's make this fight happen. Like, no, I'm not stupid. That's what stupid motherfuckers do. Stupid motherfuckers say, we had an argument in the gym, big wow, let's make a fight happen and pay him fucking $5 grand. Fuck out of here with that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Show me the money.
Where's the footage for that spar? Has anyone got that?
Nah, it didn't get filmed. There was no footage for the spar. There was no footage, but this shit happens, innit? It's boxing.
Can you confirm to us any fight news?
In the next few days, I'll be getting fight news in the next few days, but we're looking at July. We're looking at a date in July. I should be out, so it's been a while now, but I'm ready to start camp.
Alright, man. I'm gonna end this video with Joe and Joe in shot. The new man, Joe, yeah?
How you doing, Joe?
Alright, mate.
It's Joe's first time, so Joe's gonna be taking over the camera next time. So once Pro Bees is all done,
I'm close to retirement right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire him.
Yeah, and then
he ain't gonna come out for the next round.
He's the man taking over next. Do you know who you look like a bit? Joe Essex.
No, no.
Have you had that before?
No, I've never had that before.
You actually do a little bit.
I've never had that before. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Got the same name as well.
Yeah, proper.
Alright, guys. I'd like to thank the man himself. Team Tanks.
Thank you.
OD. Ohara Davies.
Peace.
Pep Talk. Thank you.